Good morning, everybody. I'm here to present the completion of the case done on March the 8th, I believe, March the 8th. You remember it was a patient who had critical limb ischemia, who failed 2 bypass grafts. We had done a very complex superficial femoral artery intervention, and we had brought him back for the stage of the perineal artery with retrograde and antegrade access. So those of you who remember, angiographically, I'm just going to go over the film very quickly, as this is going to be spliced onto the last case. You can see here you have the 2 failed bypass grafts right here, behind which is the SFA. You can see the superficial femoral artery with a covered stent that was done prior to this procedure come down, Zilver PTX, all the way down here, which you can see is the distal popliteal. And then in the perineal, you can see you have the anterior tibial here, which is jailed off by a Zion stent, and you have an occluded perineal artery. And then you can see you have multiple collaterals giving rise to a robust perineal artery, which gives rise to the anterior tibial in the foot. Now, as you can remember, I'm just going to skip ahead here, bear with me as I keep clicking. We had tried multiple times, ultrasound guided versus non-ultrasound guided, to get into the distal perineal. We failed. And because of took I think about 45 minutes of time trying, I felt that it was really a waste of your time to stay with us to watch this. So we ended our recordings the first time we actually had to, and we did this offline. So how we did it was, we actually took the needle. We had to bend the needle because of the difficulty of the fibrosis of the site, because the patient had an operation here with a bypass graft and anastomosis. So with great amounts of difficulty, I'm going to show you here, this is us trying multiple different views. With great amount of difficulty, we were able to, and here you can see you have 3 wires here to getting in. With great amount of difficulty, we were able to get into the vessel. I'm going to just skip ahead here. We were able to get into the vessel, okay? And this is, again, I think this is the area where we hit the vein. And we were able to get into the vessel. Here we're trying from the above, from the anterior tibial. But we were able to get into the vessel with great amount of difficulty. And you can see how much the needle has actually bent as we're going through the fibrous cap here. So once we got into the vessel, we checked our position. We then advanced a Terumo fine cross with an 014 Confianza Pro wire. Unfortunately, the Confianza Pro wire would not direct towards the perineal. So at this stage, it's always important, never put a sheath inside the solitary vessel runoff that you have. So we changed out to an 018 Trailblazer support catheter and switched out to a Terumo Gold wire. You can see here, the Terumo Gold wire has crossed all the way up into the vessel. And you can see here, we actually demonstrate how the Terumo Gold wire moves so smoothly within the vessel, allowing us to show how this actually works. So the gold wire, once we got the gold wire through, we snared the wire, and we externalized the wire. So we had actually a tooth floss through this particular body, with one at the level of the perineal and the other at the level of the common femoral. We were able to forcibly track, because nothing else would cross, an 035 Terumo Navicross through, check our position, and you can see here there's plenty of dye in the perineal. And then we went ahead and did a balloon angioplasty and directional atherectomy. There's our check stud. Here's a balloon angioplasty because atherectomy would not cross. And then we did a directional atherectomy of the perineal, which you'll see in a second. I guess we didn't cine it. We did a directional atherectomy of the perineal. There it is. Directional atherectomy of the perineal, and ending up in wonderful straight line flow through the Zion stent, through the proximal occlusion, through the occluded perineal segment. Again, we post-dilated with a 3035 balloon, and then you can see the fantastic runoff into the foot, straight line flow, and you can see the ulcerated spot in this area. So, you know, this is a very complicated case, and the real key to this, honestly, was the access, which was very difficult because we were going through a prior surgical site. Once we entered the prior surgical site, we were able to, again, with great difficulty, dilate in the track and then be able to push a Terumo fine cross support catheter, as well as an 018 Trailblazer. Once we got our 018 support catheter, the wires we decided to use were the Connect 250T, which did not find the lumen, but we were able to use an 018 Terumo gold tip wire, or the M wire, which was able to find the tip. Once we crossed into the true lumen distally, the case was done in 5 to 10 minutes. So again, I apologize for the fact that we couldn't show you this live. However, I think for the sake of time and the sake of our crew, rather than watching us stick a leg and not being able to get in, we felt it would be more efficient to do it and explain the steps to you. I thank you again for your time. Thank you.